table. So one member from every group to diversify the conversation within the table. And then in the second meeting, we kept all of the businesses together, all of the colleges together, all of the students together. And we asked each of them certain questions that created a small group conversation and then an entire room conversation. I think that at first we were very intimidated about this. It's hard to, have a lot of people involved, and you want to make it worth their while, that they took the day off to come in and everything. And we found that I think it was so beneficial and invigorating for us, but I think everybody at the council found meaning in it for them, and everybody was willing to volunteer and help us. So it was amazing. I know we are going to keep doing it at the rate of 2 times a year, but I think it's going to become like a family. It really is starting to feel really comfortable there.
We did one question, and we thought, and the first two groups responded pretty quickly. And we were like, this meeting's going to be over in like 10 minutes. This is not good. And then all of a sudden, it was about 45 minutes to an hour long discussion, and everybody chiming in, and students and post-secondary. It was really, for us, it's fantastic.
The conversation that Matt's referring to was about whether we should embrace technology or whether we should instruct students back to the written and verbal communication. So it was interesting to see the divide not only between people of different age groups, like the students versus community members, but also I think within just like employers versus colleges, and everyone was playing devil's advocate. It was really informative and fun.
The kids had great input too.
Yeah, I sat at that council meeting.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. It was really, the kids were genuinely engaged, and I gained a lot from it also. It was a great meeting.
Thank you.
Hats off to you guys. It was
That's
great.
what I was gonna say, you guys can be really proud of yourselves. You impressed a community, and the community is excited and wanna be involved. And what you guys did, that was one of the greatest meetings I have been a part of, and you guys can really be proud of yourselves.
Thank
You
you.
did an incredible job.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So the true impact of all of what we're doing and the plan that we're unfolding won't be felt for many years, truly until our students that are in kindergarten now, graduate. So with no crystal ball, we can't see that, but we can share with you what we've seen so far, really just in the 2 years that we've been planning and just starting to plug in some of the parts of this plan across these stakeholder areas. So for students and for counselors, the biggest change truly has been the shift to starting it from 8th grade down to kindergarten. For us, it's been a lot of work, but the students are super excited about it. I mean, we have pre-K lessons where we teach them about the different workers in the school and what they all do. We have the parents coming down to kindergarten to talk about their careers. We're teaching post-secondary options as early as 4th grade, and the kids love it. They're excited and they want to know more. I just gave all of my students that are doing the CC Spark program, they have a special login and password. And so for our last lesson, I said, you're going to take that home and you're going to play with it over the summer, right? All the games that you play in the summer, this is going to be one of them. And they said yes, and I believe them. So I hope that they continue to play around with that program. For us as well, I think a huge change is that this is the first time and the first thing that we've all worked on together as a group of counselors. I've only been here for 3 years, but I know my first year we truly only met once a month during department meetings for half an hour, and it was just like, and then, see you next month. This has been wonderful. It's just great to work with each other, especially for me, because I'm a lone duck over at RD Wilson. So it's brought us closer together and helped us share some ideas and feel not so, I think, bombarded all the time and feel supported. For our staff as well, I think it was a nice reminder and an eye-opener to them that they are also responsible for helping our students meet these career education work standards. I think with the focus being on so many other things, this can easily get pushed to the side. So I think when we did our gap analysis, which is where we asked all the teachers to fill out, here's all the standards, what lessons or what are you doing to help your students meet that, and wherever there's gaps, you know, we'll help you fill that in, we'll help you with that. And I had a second grade teacher come to me and say, Erica, I was reading the standards and I saw that they're supposed to define entrepreneurship, and in my 20 years of teaching, I don't think that word has ever left my mouth before. And last week I read the story about Johnny and the lemonade stand, and don't you know, I used that to teach them about entrepreneurship and talked about it at, you know, what you can do at your level to earn money, and then what grown-up entrepreneurs look like. And she said it was easy as that, and so I just want you to know that I got that covered. And so you can start to see that they're aware of it and starting to plug in those little pieces, and sometimes it's as easy as that, taking a book that they're already reading and just adding a little bit of discussion to it. A huge impact that we've seen also is from the community. Like we've said at the advisory council, it was amazing to put ourselves out there and share our plan and everything that we're trying to do, and to have them say, oh my gosh, how are you going to do all this? Please let us help you. Here's how we can help you. Here's someone else that I know that can help you, and what about this idea, and really just take it in and run, you know, we really feel like they're with us. It's not that we're on our own trying to do this. We've really got a ton of support from the community, from staff, from everybody. So we feel very confident in this plan, and we feel very supported from all of our stakeholders, and we truly hope that we'll have your support with this as well.
So that is our spiel. It has been 2 years of working on this, and the document we gave you is like 100 pages, and that's back and front, and we put a lot of time, and as you can see, we told them we'd talk about 10 minutes, we'd be right here. 30 minutes later, we're still kind of rambling on to you, but we really believe in this. Like they said, we had two ends of the district not doing the same things at times, and this has really brought everybody together and connecting from elementary to middle to high, so that we can build a student, not just academics, but what they're going to do, where they're going to go, what's best for that student. So we believe in it. We think we're on the right track, and hopefully you'll agree as well with what we put out there. So thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to personally thank these folks for all the work they did. They have been working consistently for 2 years, and there are 5 things that are going to make this plan work, okay? 2 of them are in place. Okay, you need 5 things to make this work. You need vision, that's clearly there. You need skills, clearly there. Right, there have to be incentives in place for all stakeholders to be able to want to engage and do this. It has to be supported with resources. Vision, skills, incentives, and resources will lead to action, and that is the only way this is going to work. So I do believe, having looked at this document comprehensively, that this could serve as the backbone to build curriculum, instruction, assessment, moving forward, be the base for really everything we do. It's that good, and it's that important. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see why PDE found yours to be one of the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to our agenda items first. Thanks again, man.
Thank you.
In the agendas that you have, the one that you got prior to this, so these were very similar. I'm gonna start on newer agenda, page 3, at the very top, and the first item on the agenda is the board member vacancy. And I gave Mr. Hollister a folder with some letters of interest from community members of Region 1 who may be interested in this position. And then, as I gave you before, I also put in there a copy of the school code that goes along with that, right? So this month now, just doing math real quick, this is the time we've got to do it. Wait until the 24th, put you over the days, I think. So I just leave it to you as a group, just as an open discussion, how do you want to proceed?
It's a no-brainer. Jeff won, I did talk to Jeff, Jeff put his letter in as AJ, and was requesting people interested, and he did that also.
Yeah, Jeff said.
Yeah, we got 3 letters from him, one from Mr. Gregolski, one from Dr. Johnson, one from Mr. Fagan. There were 3 letters of interest, and as we had spoken, I agree, with what John said.
It only makes sense to do it because somebody else is gonna be getting their feet wet, and by the time they get it wet, it's gonna be time for them to come back off again. Jeff won, so Jeff outright, and it would only be the right thing to do, I believe. He's getting his feet wet early. Agreed.
No, I agree with you, just the process.
Yeah.
The process in which it was handled. And I can't speak to again, that's why I wrote that letter to Wayne Independent, to make sure that people knew this was happening. We had 0 coverage from Wayne Independent. There was a veil that people really didn't know. We had nothing on the website, we had no promotion of this, we had no news to the media or to the community, so that's why I wrote that letter, so people knew exactly what was going on. So, I think we need to be a little bit more open about it, to be honest with you, if it were to ever happen again. On a district level.
to do it though.
True, but still.
Also, I don't think anything was hidden, I think it was out there, and as
Yeah, but
we
word
are
of
school
mouth,
board
we didn't-
members,
we didn't
if you have somebody of interest, then we need to ask that person.
But as a body,
I think it went out
as a body.
fairly and appropriately.
I couldn't
I
disagree
agree.
more, but
Okay.
So it'll be Jeff then.
Yeah,
I'd support Jeff.
100%.
again, I support the person, not the process.
Okay. So we'll add Mr. Gregolski's name to
Your
that.
letter allowed us to advertise for free.
Right? It's been a long time to write that, you know? 400?
G-O-G-O-L-S-K-I.
You were publicly before that, so that was free, right?
Jeffrey?
Yeah, the letters of the editor are, but the advertising mails.
Yeah.
Does he have to be sworn in?
Yes.
And will that happen on Monday?
Hopefully we don't have any. Yes, I already put a copy of the oath in the signature folder, so don't forget it.
Okay.
But yes, as board president, you can.
So, should we swear him in then immediately after that? To
Yes.
seat him on the board at that meeting? So we should add that,
So he needs to be there.
yeah.
Yeah, he said he couldn't make it tonight, he was gonna try to get here, and I said, well then,
So
if you make it Monday,
So we'll have
if the
administer
board
oath
is, you know,
of
in
office.
favor of putting you on, and then we'll put you on, and then you'll sit there.
that'd be 12.
And as you did abstain on some things, because you had no information.
Yeah, just the person.
Give them a bit of a heads up on that.
And then he sits on Monday and votes, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do it before the bills, after we do roll call.
That's a good question. I'd be there.
That is a good question.
Do you want
We
that
have
item
to- we have to
on
roll
the
call.
call?
Yeah,
Instead of the
swear
other
in.
way
Yeah, why don't
around?
we just,
yeah, do it right up front, and then he's part of the meeting right from the.
Right from the beginning. From the secretary's report on here to the treasurer.
I wonder if the process is similar to reorganization. I wonder if we should advertise a separate meeting.
Doesn't say that in
It
there.
doesn't,
I'd
it
be,
doesn't say that.
I'd be okay doing it right after the roll call. So we'll advance that up.
So put the 2 items, the vacancy and then administrative.
Okay, so everybody understands that will become the first item after the roll call is taken. We'll have a motion for Mr. Gregolski, and then we'll have administer the oath of office, and he'll take the decision, he'll be part of the entire meeting.
So we can send him information Friday for
Yeah,
that meeting, so he has
To
it.
do that,
Yeah.
send a packet to him.
Yeah, let's send a packet to him.
Absolutely.
Anything personnel related or that would require executive should not be in that packet because he hasn't been sworn in yet.
Yep, just follow
And if
this.
he cares, if there is anything of that nature he wants to abstain on, that's understandable, because he wouldn't be here before that. But until he's sworn in, I don't think, if there is anything, I'll throw into that. Use normal caution. Okay. Okay, so that moved to the front, now we'll go back to item 12.
We have an actual addition to the graduate list, so we updated the entire list. So this is the same motion that you passed the last one, just plus one.
Okay.
And that's good news. 13, year-end bills. This is an annual motion recommending that the board authorize the treasurer and business manager to review purchase orders and bills payable for the end of the fiscal year and to approve payment of all remaining 14-15 purchase orders. Then the record of this will be on the August meeting. And the reason we do this is because there's traditionally recess in July, but the bills don't stop. So it just authorizes Rose and the treasurer to work to pay the bills. 14 is related, recommending that the board authorize the board treasurer and business manager to approve payment of the July 15 general fund accounts payable and payroll with a report again in August meeting. 15 is new and required by federal governmental accounting standards, statement 54, recommending that the board approve the recommendation of the business manager to designate a portion of the ending 14-15 fund balance if necessary to manage future budgets. The amount would be determined based on final adjusted balances. This is a different GASB requirement than the one that we normally do in January. And I'll let you just.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same requirement, but they're now asking us that before the end of the school year that we make the commitment that we will designate if needed for anything in fund balance. We've designated as per GASB 54 standards. And then once we finish the annual financial report and we do have the exact dollar amount, then we'll do another motion, which is similar to the one we've done the last few years, as far as actually putting dollar amounts into the different categories.
Okay.
And that would be pensions and.
Yeah, what we would do is set aside for pensions and for future healthcare costs. At times we've done it for
So as you've done it,
construction, different things, yeah. Mhm.
Is there any way you can give us the dollar figure when that comes out? Is it available?
That won't be available till after we close and have our financial reports, usually the end of October, before we have
I
everything
mean, at
settled.
that point, we'll be able to.
Yeah, mhm.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Next is a first reading of several policies, and in particular, I'd like to draw your attention to two of them. On the top of page 4, the last two, use of school facilities, and then on the 819 is the suicide awareness, prevention, and response. The 819 policy is a new policy that's related to recently enacted legislation. Act 71 on suicide awareness. So we're now required as a school entity to provide X number of hours of training on suicide awareness and prevention to all of our staff every so many years. Similar to the one that we're going through right now, is Act 168, with child abuse. Professional staff 6 through 12. To the rest, okay. So that training will be forthcoming, that hasn't been even defined yet. But PSBA has come out with a model policy, so we thought it wise, and I agree that we put that there. So you have a copy of that.
Yep.
And then the 707 is the use of school facilities, and there have been some concerns recently about turf usage, and we wanted to revisit that document, and, the board can make a decision about how they want us to administer the use of that.
Well, I'd like to interject if you want to talk about it now. The fact is that the situation that occurred down at the field with the gentleman, Mr. Lynn, who was here, I believe the last meeting or the meeting before that. we had problems with him before on the turf spray painting or whatever it was he put down on the field. We talked about that at the last time he came in. And the fact was, he said that would never happen again. Well, the AD was down there that had problems the day that his group was there. There was more students from Coughlin and some other students, and there was maybe a handful of our own students there. On top of all that, they urinated along the field house, the clubhouse out there all over the place. There was no supervision. Mr. Lynn wasn't there with the group of students, from what I was told.
Students urinated on the building?
Well, yeah.
Were the bathrooms open?
Pardon?
Were the bathrooms?
I don't believe the bathrooms were open because they're not paying for, I don't believe they're paying for custodial people to be there. I'm not sure on that. But the fact is that they urinated all over the place. Mrs. Rizzi, our AD, went down there and she was really upset, and then she made a report to Dr. Latola and Pat Sheehan, and right, Pat, did she bring that into you also?
When
And I had talked to Pat when I heard it, but anyway.
This is the first I'm hearing about it. When was this?
3 weeks
Pardon?
ago.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it,
Okay,
so.
okay.
Is that a few weeks ago?
Yeah, somewhere, yeah.
How do we handle the situation?
Well, in terms of what happened in the building, it was addressed with TAS, but it's hard, TAS was there. There are a lot of people that are around here. It's hard to prove it. I don't disagree with Don,
Yeah.
but it's difficult to prove. I think the big picture here is, what do you want to do with that facility?
I think one of the important factors there is, was he not here with the students? And was there other supervision if he was not?
Well, he's the guy that requested the facility and under his supervision, and he wasn't here. The fact is that, talking to Mrs. Rizzi, and she mentioned Dave Robinson, I thought they were gonna be here tonight to tell their side of it. The facility cost about $850,000 for that turf field. It's given us a lot of life so far, and my recommendation would be that we don't let anybody use the turf field except for our own athletes, our football, our soccer, and our track, and whatever of our programs use the field. It should be strictly for the students of Western
What
Wayne.
about school affiliation? Like our Wildcat soccer program,
Well-
our junior Wildcat program?
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with that neither, but bringing, I don't know where we can go with that because of some of the remarks that were made by Mr. Lang about discrimination and stuff like that. The fact is there's a handful of our children out there, and there's more students from everywhere else down the line and everything. And our field was abused before, now our field house and all that was urinated on. The fact is, there was no supervision there. And the other fact is, Mr. Robinson made a statement to Mrs. Rizzi that if we want longevity out of that field, we should just use it for the students of Western Wayne School District. And I believe that's the way it should be also. Now, I believe our football and soccer kids are Western Wayne school students. So therefore, it's hard when you have a handful of students from Western Wayne, and you have the majority of the students coming up from Coughlin High School and
And we
elsewhere.
really don't know how many, because AJ, last time you asked him to provide a roster of,
Or anyone?
and of the students from Western Wayne, and I think, Pat, you said he has not done that.
Has anyone